Hello everyone. I wanted to come out on, or make a video rather, and talk to you about pushing. It's quite a controversial topic. It's one that many people are a bit nervous of. I was originally going to make this video for the trainee practitioners, the hypnobirthing trainee practitioners, but I actually decided that it's probably worth doing something for you pregnant peeps out there as well, because it is a really, really important topic, and I feel one that is not maybe spoken about enough, or the information that is given surrounding the topic is in its sort of mildest form is maybe not sort of giving that process enough respect, and I think in its most serious form is possibly incorrect. So I felt that a video was very much needed. So what is the pushing stage of labour? When we are taught about labour, when we're talking about labour, we tend to think a lot about the first stage, i.e. the cervix opening, and the last stage, which is the baby's head crowning. But what people maybe are in denial about or don't really acknowledge enough is that in between the cervix dilating and the baby's head crowning, the baby is actually pushed out by the muscles at the top of the uterus. How will I know when to push? How do you know when you need to do a poo? How do you know when you're going to be sick? It's exactly the same. It's your body doing exactly what it needs to do in order to get the baby from the inside to the outside. It's not, believe it or not, something that you have to be taught. If you've got nieces and nephews, if you've got children already, have you ever noticed when a baby does a poo? They usually go quite red in the face and they put on this really determined expression. Some of them grunt, some of them just kind of stare you in the eye, some of them properly bear down, and you can see exactly what it is that they're doing. Nobody's taught them how to get that poo out. They just instinctively go with what their body is telling them to do. And it is exactly the same when we are in labour in that second stage and our body is telling us that now the baby is on its way out. You're not doing the pushing, your body's doing the pushing, and you follow suit. What is directive pushing? Directive pushing is basically when you have everybody surrounding you. You're usually, or the mother or birthing person is usually on their back, and the instruction is to put your chin on your chest and push as hard as you possibly can for the length of the contraction. It looks awful, it looks frightening, and it really doesn't feel particularly pleasant either. So directive pushing is being told what to do, when to do it, and how long to do it for. Directive pushing came about because the belief was that the second stage of labour was dangerous for the baby. Now, what you've got to remember, a lot of these original studies were based on women lying on their backs who'd had intervention the whole way through labour, possibly had pain relieving drugs. Sorry, dog's barking. Pain relieving drugs, maybe intervention, maybe hormonal drips to speed things up. So the assessment really wasn't done sort of on a blank sheet, so to speak. Also, I think I mentioned that women were potentially lying on their back, and the act of actually pushing your baby up that curve in the birth canal is really, really difficult. But the conclusion was that the second stage of labour was not safe for the baby, or it was riskier for the baby. So they felt that actually if you hurry it up, then you're reducing the risk, which kind of sounds like it makes sense. But the issue is when people hold their breath and push, they're actually cutting off oxygen supply to themselves, B, cutting off oxygen supply to the baby, and C, going against potentially what it is their body wants them to do. Remember, birth is a physiological process, and just like every other physiological process, we don't need to be told how to do it. The World Health Organization recommends that women be left to birth instinctively at that point and to adopt any position or any behavior that feels right and feels comfortable and feels productive. But unfortunately, because the directive pushing has been around for so long, it's kind of become commonplace and expected behavior on how to push your baby out. The hypnobirthing message is often to breathe your baby out. Now, as I said, it's really, really important to listen to what the body is telling you to do. And if breathing your baby out works or has worked for you, then brilliant. But if your body is telling you to actively bear down, actively go with the process of pushing, then you need to do that. The issue with telling people to breathe their baby out often results in them feeling the urge to push, feeling that they're doing it wrong, and then it all goes completely pear-shaped. And what perhaps was going in a really calm, physiological, drug-free birth ends up being quite a medicalized process, all because they were overriding that natural instinctive urge to push. Physiologically, what is happening with your body is as the baby starts to descend into the birth canal, it's putting pressure, its head is putting pressure on either side of the birth canal, and that's what stimulates the nerves for pushing. If you happen to feel that sensation, happen to feel that urge, it is really, really, really hard to override it. It's a bit like if you were desperate to go to the toilet and I ran in after you and went, no, stop. It would probably completely derail the whole process. So women, birthing people, need to be given the space and the confidence in their body to go with what their body is telling them. Now, some women are naturally going to breathe their baby out. Some are going to full on roar their baby out. Others are going to do little pushes all the way through the contraction. Others naturally are going to hold their breath. But because that is coming from the mother's intuition, the mother's body, that's okay. Some people don't even feel the urge to push at all. So there is really no right or wrong in the situation. The danger comes from when you instruct people exactly how to do it. The other issue is that everything is focused on how dilated the cervix is. And the standard belief, guideline, practice is that once the cervix is 10 centimeters, you can start pushing. That's not necessarily true either. A cervix doesn't have to be completely at 10 centimeters in order for someone to feel the urge to push. Sometimes that assessment, when someone says, oh, I feel I need to push, the midwife examines and they're told they're only 8 centimeters, can derail the process. If you're upright, if you're active, if you're doing what your body needs you to do and you feel the urge to push, then push. Equally, the same issue about as the baby's head is crowning. Women will naturally be instinctive. Lots of women hold their baby's head or hold their vulvas to ease the emergence of the baby and naturally bring their legs in closer together to naturally minimize any chances of tearing significantly. To be told at that point, little pushes, stop pushing, open your legs, etc., etc., derails the process and can often cause more problems than it actually solves. The fact of what I'm saying is listen to your body. Just like your body knows how to go to the toilet, just like your body knows how to breathe, or for your heart to pump the blood around your body knows how to push your baby out. And the trick to the second stage is listening to your body, going with that, and allowing the process to happen. What should you do if you have an epidural? Is all of what I've said null and void? Absolutely not. First thing is think about your position. So even if you have an epidural and you actually can't feel the lower half of your body, you can use things such as peanut balls, which are kind of deflated birth balls that are in the shape of a peanut, funnily enough. Using a peanut ball to alter your position while sitting on the bed opens the pelvis, creates more room. And actually studies have shown that when people who are using epidurals also use peanut balls, the rates of cesarean sections are reduced. So get yourself a peanut ball if you know that you want an epidural. The bed change position. If you can get yourself into a more upright position, either kind of almost sitting in a throne-like position or reversing that round so you're in a supported all fours position, then all well and good. That's going to help you. Also, consider allowing the epidural to wear off slightly. Now, the issue with that is if you've had the epidural for the majority of your labour, your pain is going to be blocked. Your hormones, the pain-killing hormones, the endorphins, won't have increased to the levels necessary to support you with those increased sensations. So you have to manage it, but you should be able to allow the epidural to wear off enough that you're not actually feeling any discomfort, but you can feel the urge to push. And when you feel that urge to push, you do what your body needs you to do. Something to help you is to actually think about the muscles you're using when you're pushing your baby out. Now, often you would have heard people say, push into your bum like you're doing a big poo. My problem with that is that your poos don't come out of your front bottom, or at least you hope not. Right direction, but wrong side of the road. The pelvic floor muscles that you are focusing on releasing when you're pushing your baby out are the ones that would naturally grip to hold in a tampon or a penis. And it's those muscles that are releasing to allow your baby out. Now, you do have to think about it a bit more when you have an epidural, because even though you have reduced the level of medication going into your system, you're not going to have full feeling. So you do have to just think about directing that pushing a little more. But I stress again, whether you hold your breath, whether you breathe, whether you do little pushes, it's completely what your body is telling you to do. Trust the process, trust your body, and in the words of Salt and Pepper, push it real good. See you soon.